Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihan's Cuisines. Today we are making Mr. Puff. These are donuts that puff up like a balloon. If you want to learn how to make this, let's go ahead and discuss the ingredients. But before we do that, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss out on any new videos. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so for this recipe, I have here 3/4 cup of milk. We're gonna start off with 3/4 cup of warm milk. We'll add more if we need it, but for now, we're gonna stick with 3/4. I've got 2 teaspoons of yeast in here. 2 teaspoons of yeast, a tablespoon of white sugar, regular. What we're gonna do is we are going to mix this and I'm going to keep it and let it froth. So I wanna give it a kickstart. Once that's done, we're gonna start binding the dough. I also have 2 tablespoons of unsalted soft butter. We're gonna use that in the end. And I've got just, I would say maybe half a teaspoon of salt, all right? So I'm just gonna mix that in and I'm gonna wait for the milk to, and the yeast mixture to froth, and then we're gonna start binding the dough. So I wanna show you here. Do you see how we've got bubbles coming over here? That's perfect. And if you can wait longer, it's just gonna puff up. That's even better. But I am a little bit stretched for time, so I am going to go ahead and start mixing this. Now, the dough that I'm looking for here is I want a very stiff dough at this point. All right, so I'm just gonna keep on mixing this. The kneading comes in after we put the butter in. Okay, that's where we need to knead it really, really well. Okay. I'm just gonna add everything in there because I've got my yeast and sugar in here, so that's why I have to use all of it. Okay, now let's go ahead and mix this. And where you will see that whatever pan you're using is going to be nice and clean. Now today I am going to be using my machine to bind the dough, just because it's gonna need quite a bit of binding. So all right, so you see how we've got, it's a pretty stiff dough. So now what I'm going to do is flatten it. And I'm gonna add my butter in here. Now this should really make the dough really nice and soft. So at first you're gonna have a goopy mess, which is okay. You just gotta keep on mixing it. Okay, so at this point, I am going to throw it in my KitchenAid machine and I am going to bind the dough. And I'll show you the consistency once it's done. I want to show you this. Okay, look at how soft. It's not sticking, but it's super soft. Now I'm showing you this because this is super important. The only trick to this is beat it in your machine or knead it vigorously until you have a soft, really soft dough. Now see, when you pull it, it should just like pull. You see, look at that. It should just pull. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna let this rest, cover it, and I'm gonna let it rest in a warm place. Once it's doubled in size, we're gonna come and we're gonna shape these, and then we're gonna let those rise again one more time before we go ahead and start deep frying it. So here's our dough. Look at how soft this dough is, and this is how you want it, this soft. What I'm going to do is I'm just gonna divide the dough in two. I'm going to use 2 cookie cutters here. One is going to be the small one because I really didn't know which one to use. So I think I'm gonna go with both. So I'm gonna do half of each. The other one, I'm gonna put it back into our bowl and I'm going to cover it so it doesn't dry off. Now we're just gonna roll this and then we're going to cut it out. You don't want to add too much flour. You just want to add enough to where it's not gonna stick. So you see here that I have not rolled this super thin. This is about 4 milliliters, I would say. And you want them like that. So now what I'm going to do is, let's do the small one. I'm not going to use the design one. I'm just going to use the normal one. And I am just going to start cutting them and start putting them on my cloth here. And then I'm also going to be covering that up and letting this come rise again one more time. So I've got them all going. I got the big ones going, I got the small ones going, and now I just have it on my pastry cloth here. I'm gonna cover it and I'm gonna let this again puff up once more, and then we're gonna go ahead and fry these. So this one got the rice. Look at how beautiful they've risen. So now it's time to go ahead and start frying these. So I'm heating up my oil. Let's go ahead and. The stove now is on medium high, and what you want to do is you want to drop a little bit of it in there, and if it's just starting to come up, that's perfect. You don't want the heat to be super hot. One in there. See how well it puffed? So now I'm going to start, and I'm going to be putting all of them in there and get these fried up. You want to make sure that your heat is not very high. These puff up so well. So Mr. Puff is the perfect name for this these donuts of mine. So happy with the way they've turned out. So that's one thing that I just wanted to make sure that I told you. So see, on low, I can at least control. I can turn them. They're puffing up. It's perfect. So I got all of them cooked now. All of them not cooked but fried. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and let them cool a little bit, and then I'm going to be dipping them in some of the powdered sugar. Mr. Puff is ready, and I'm telling you, these are amazing. Even Sumaya, I mean, she's been chowing down on them, and I'm like, I have to have something to show them, right? So this is it. Let me show you. So I've got one that I haven't coated with sugar or powdered sugar here. The ones that I coated with sugar was just, I did half a cup of sugar, regular sugar, and then I did about 3 tablespoons of cinnamon, and I didn't think you guys needed to see that. And then the powdered sugar ones, I should have waited a little bit more for them to cool down, but that's okay. Now, let me show you this. So when you get into this, it's basically supposed to be a little hollow. So it was hollow, but I'll show you another one. Look at this one. Oh, I'm getting powdered sugar all over. Okay, so you see that? Now, I would love to do a taste test on these, but what I'm going to do is the one that I did not have anything on there, I'm going to do a taste test on this one. I don't know where you go get your donuts. Whether it's Dunkin' Donuts or Crispy Donuts, if you want to try homemade, I mean, I just don't know what to tell you, but give these a try because they are amazing. They are just super delicious. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihan's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. But I just want to show you. Do you know why Sumaya took the plate away? Was because you know what? The one that I had opened up, she already had it. So that's how good it is. Give him a try.